Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahshua Bashem Kakudah. Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. I'm going to try to make this quick. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video, A Jake Will Believe Anything If You Package It Right. A Jake will believe anything if you package it right. Now, I did a video, last video that I did, entitled The One Westers Were Wrong. He is not white. Yakub invented them. So it says here, in this house we believe an evil black scientist by the name of Yakub, living on the Isle of Patmos, created the white race 6,000 years ago. Actually, it's 6,600 years ago, 6,600 years ago, by means of eugenics. So I did a little research on the Nation of Islam. Bear with me for a minute. Anyway, this is not it. Okay, I did some research on the Nation of Islam, the NOI, and I asked the question, how many active members are part of the NOI? And this is according to them. If you do the research, there are 50,000. So I'd assume it would be more than 50,000. There's 50,000 active members. So at least 50,000 Jakes in this country believe in the teachings of the Nation of Islam, led by Minister Louis Farrakhan. So what I did was I went into the word Yakub, Nation of Islam, and I'm going to read it. It says, according to the beliefs of the Nation of Islam, NOI, Yakub, sometimes spelled Yakub or Yakub, was a black scientist who lived 6,600 years ago and began the creation of the white race. He is said to have done this through a form of selective breeding, which is referred to as grafting, while he was living on the island of Patmos. The Nation of Islam's mythology states that Yakub is the biblical Jacob. So I don't know of any history of Jacob, leaving his children and just going to the Isle of Patmos, and as a scientist and doing experiments in a lab to create white people. Let me put the cursor on. Look at this. Look at this. This is supposed to be the Jacob wrestling the angel. They got it looking like a sexual act. And the angel got no beard. He's an Edomite. And then you got Jacob, which is a little bit darker. He could pass for like a light-skinned Jake, or an Ephraimite, or a Simeonite. But the angel's a white man. very feminine looking. It says Jacob, later given the name Israel, is regarded as a patriarch of the Israelites and is an important figure in Abrahamic religions, which is Christianity, so-called Judaism, and Islam, such as Judaism, Samaritanism, Christianity, and Islam. Jacob first appears in the book of Genesis, originating from the Hebrew tradition. I'm not going to read the rest. In the mythology. Myth is a genre of folklore or theology consisting primarily of narratives that play a fundamental role in a society, such as made-up stories, such as that never existed, of course, such as foundational tales or origin myth for folklorists, historians, philosophers, or theologians. This is very different from the use of myth, which simply means, I'm not going to read the rest of it, you can click on that. So it says, while he was living on the island of Patmos, the nation of Islam, which there's no such nation as, there's Ishmaelites, there's Midianites, there's Elamites, there's Persians, there's Medes. It said the nation of Islam's mythology states that Yakub is the biblical Jacob. The story has, now if you notice, you listen to Farrakhan speak, he'll open up with praising the name of Allah, the God of Islam, and then throughout the speech, if he hits any scriptures, it's always the Bible. It's always the Bible. It's very rare that you hear him even quote. I'm not saying that he never does it, but listen to any speech and he's going into the scriptures. He's going into the Bible, not the Quran. And I found out that recently why they do that is because Master Farad Muhammad, which to me looks like Robert De Niro, so he looks more white than black, let's say, that when he taught Elijah Muhammad and many others, he pushed the Bible. He gave them Bible scriptures. So all they're doing is regurgitating what they learned from Master Farad Muhammad. And Master Farad Muhammad, if you look him up, now it says Fard, which is Master Fard, and Elijah's story. The story with Fard is that he is actually Allah coming down in the flesh. So Allah is only dealing with the black Americans, not the Arabs. Okay, so like I said, Jacob believe anything if you package it right. If the former One Westers came out on YouTube and was teaching this stuff about Yakub, the big-headed scientist, and all this other stuff, this folklore, this mythology, the majority of y'all would believe it. But we taught the truth, and the ones that came into this, and the reason why this thing is growing, because the Most High is gathering the elect. So it says, the story has caused disputes within the NOI. So there's people that study and come up and become ministers that dispute that whole thing. Another thing is the mother plane. Let me see if that's in here. Bear with me for a minute. This is why don't even try to wake up a brother that's in Islam. I mean, you're gonna try anyway, but May the force be with you for real. Cause that's a strong delusion, boy. Let me put in mother plane. Mother plane. Okay, it's not in there. Let me do it this way. Okay, this is Dwight York, which is Dr. York, which I encountered him face to face at his I'll call it his lair in on Myrtle Ave. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me read this. Dwight York, leader and founder of the Nubian Nation. I remember when it was the Ansar Allah community Muslims. They changed their name from time to time. Wrote his own expanded lore stating Yakub was actually an extraterrestrial. Following York's esoteric writings in his book, The Holy Tablets, Yakub, and there's Jakes that followed that holy. He made them books. He even did a book on us, the one West Israelites, because there was a brother that was a minister, high up minister in his organization, that left the organization and came up to the school. He used to come up, didn't really say too much. He used to take notes. I mean, I don't know what happened to the brother, but that came from myself and Ariala, and I believe Barak was there the first time or the second time, and Lahab came down and Shah came down, and I was the main one that was raising hell. I read him the Riot Act, and it was a big thing. We thought we was gonna have to physically fight to get out of there, man. Cause I told him to his face. I said when the Lord come back, the first nigga he gonna get is you. I was like in reached distance to him, cause I was just mad at this nigga, man. I was mad at this nigga. And then we saw this Ephraimite that used to go to the school, and then he just stopped coming. Then we see the dude. I'm looking at the dude. I said, "Oh, there goes that Ephraimite." He done went from being an Israelite to a follower of Dr. York. But now the thing about Dr. York, that dude was a smooth talker. He had the gift of gab. He had the hand gestures. He had the accent, which I believe was a fake accent. Talking about he was born in I think he was born in Sudan, and when he was really born in Boston. When you do enough reading on him, matter of fact, it might say it in here. It says Yakub was said to come from a race of large-headed humanoids that live within the inner earth called the Shuyuk. Written within the book, York claims Yakub. So this is the NOI story that Dr. York remixed. He gave it a little bit more flavor. Was the son of Shuyuk father and Sai Nine mother. Sai Nine were that York described as cone-headed humanoids. Now I guarantee you got it from the movie The Coneheads. Cone-headed humanoids. Say that 3 times fast. So the father and the mother of Yakub, the big-headed scientist, is 2 cone-headed humanoids. And yet, like I said, the title of this video, Jake will believe anything. And I wanted to put the N word there. Jake will believe anything if you package it right. And Yakub's Saignian mother, Princess Lucina, should be Lucinda. Princess Lucina was killed for let me see something. Miscegenation is marriage of admixture between people who are considered to be members of a different race. So she married outside of her race. The word, now usually considered pejorative, is derived from the combination of the Latin term miscere and genus. The word first appeared in miscegenation, the theory. I'm not going to read the rest. So this is a concocted story. With Yakub Suyak father Ishak. Thus, and these, you know, niggas that listen to this and taking, I didn't know this. This is deep. See, the white man don't know about this. Thus, after York's origin of Yakub within the holy tablets, if you read that book, that book is madness. It follows the same story as written within Message to the Black Man in America by Elijah Muhammad about the creation of the white race. So Dr. York obviously came after Elijah Muhammad. He's much older than him. He took that old story and he remixed it. He remixed it. Now give me a second. I want to do this here. Bear with me for a minute. Elijah Muhammad and the mother plane. I think it's called the mother plane. Let's see what comes up. Bear with me. Give me a second. Okay. This book analyzes Ezekiel's vision and brings it to bear with that Elijah Muhammad says that God taught him about it. What's called UFOs today is in fact the will which eludes the scientists of this world. Elijah Muhammad interprets Ezekiel's will in modern terms. Okay, I misspelled it. The mother plane, Elijah Muhammad's analysis of Ezekiel's will. Let me see something. How many babies did Elijah Muhammad have? What happened to Elijah Muhammad? Where was Elijah Muhammad buried at? How old was Elijah Muhammad when he passed away? Let me look at what happened to Elijah Muhammad. Okay, that's not what I want. Why did Elijah leave? See, they're not giving me the whole story. Let me click on this. Okay, the mother plane, Elijah Muhammad's analysis of Ezekiel. This book is comprised of 16 articles written by Elijah Muhammad, Nation of Islam. Ezekiel's will, his version, was in fact called the mother plane because it is today in fact not vision, a humanly built planet, or the mother of all planes. So teaches Elijah Muhammad the biblical Ezekiel did not see an actual will, but only a vision of one that could that would be in the future. The book analyzes Ezekiel's vision, bear with what Elijah Muhammad says that God taught him about it. What's called UFOs today is in fact the will which eludes the scientists of the world. Elijah Muhammad interprets Ezekiel's will in modern terms. Now, what Farrakhan teaches is that Elijah Muhammad never died, that he was beamed up into the mother plane or the mother ship. That's why the book is called The Mother Plane. Like I said, if you put a story together and it sounds good, Jake would buy it, accept it hook, line, and sinker. That's why there's so much confusion in the world. And as it says in Matthew 24, if it was possible, they would have received the very elect. So you thank the Most High that the Most High opened up your eyes to see the truth and look beyond all this madness. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.